Hey everybody, welcome back to Linux Weekly, daily Wednesdays where we sit back, relax, take that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of Linux, maybe some open source, maybe some Raspberry Pis. I'm Vince Stone. That's Joe Bryant. Talking
Hello.
here in the pre-show, live, talking about Steam controllers, talking about Bluetooth connectivity on Linux, all the crazy things that just happened before a show. Come check it out live, 3 p.m. right here on YouTube. What's our YouTube channel?
At LWDW, LINWDW.
I believe it.
Yeah.
LWDW. Go check it out. Like and subscribe. If you're watching live, click the thumbs up video. It'll game the system. Hack it or don't, whatever. I'm not your boss. So, big show to talk about this week. Of course, we got to pour one out for Clear Linux. Intel's taking an axe to that. I'm going to share with you some maybe other not good news that I don't see a lot of people talking about. Firefox 141's out. They're putting some more AI into your browser. And Ubuntu's got another RISC-V partner. That's kind of exciting. And lo and behold, somebody has found an interesting thing to shove into the PCI Express ribbon connector on a Raspberry Pi 5 that I'm excited about, which is strange. But before we get into that, Jill has, let me see if I can predict what Jill is going to talk about by reading off her show notes. Oh, yes. Yes. Gift card.
So this is something really cool. Monica, our patron and my bestie from Atlanta who works at Thunderbird, who's often in chat, sent me another card she made for me in the mail. It's so cute. It is a thank you card because I sent her a Steam gift card for her birthday last month, and she painted it in a Stardew Valley style, kind of a top-down look of a landscape with trees and bushes and flowers, and there's a cute picture of herself with pink cat ears on, and I just love it. I think it's so cute, and she made that for me. She drew that. So cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And thank you so much, thank you so much, Monica. This is a lot nicer than the Steam gift card I gave her.
You got to one up your game, man. It. Yeah, that next card better come with like an oil painting.
Yeah.
Watercolors.
Well, this is pretty close. It actually kind of looks...
No. I'm talking about you. When you send the next gift, you better include a painting.
Yeah.
Make a mug.
Yeah, I need to do something.
Oh, you could draw a turkey hand.
A turkey hand.
Remember those?
Yes.
Oh, man. Everybody, last week we talked about this thing, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
The Milk 5 Titan. Ooh, ITX 5. It's got upgradable. It's got DDR4, like RAM holes on it. It's got by 16. Really wanted one. Just randomly. I guess who sent me an email, Joe?
Ah.
And we'll leave it at that. So stay tuned.
Milk 5.
I'm just saying, just up to your imagination. Maybe you want to put 2 and 13 together. Also, you don't want to count your chainsaws before they hatch. I'm just saying, we'll see. Maybe I'll be able to talk a bit more about that in the upcoming future.
Cool, then.
But one thing I'm working on, I said this on Saturday, if you didn't catch it, is if you know what a Jellyfin server is, your media server that you get around the house, it's probably what you've replaced Plex with since Plex has become the anti-Plex. If you're planning on building one of those, more importantly, if you're planning on going out and buying hardware to build one of those, hold off to the end of the week, maybe into next week. Let me finish up what I'm working on right now, because I got some very interesting, possibly, well, to me at least, surprising results that I came across that could save you some money and get you a better system than you would initially think, especially just going by what the internet has agreed on. Like everybody's like, hey, this is what you should get. I'm like, let's just take a look at this other thing and see how that balances out. Surprising results. That'll be put together for Interfacing Linux, and I'll have that out maybe Friday or Saturday for patrons on Interfacing Linux to take a look at. But
nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's hop into it this week by Hopefully,
Yeah.
Jill, this is not going to be a harbinger of things to come. But we got to say goodbye to a Linux distribution.
Yeah, we do. This is just so sad, and we had to start this out at the beginning of the show because the rest of the show is happy. So this is actually really sad
dude,
news.
What if somebody's like, I hate Intel? Like,
oh
yeah, dude, think about it. They're just like, they just paused the podcast and they're like, let me go get my celebration party hat and noisemaker while we're talking about this.
Yeah, but if they're watching us, they're most likely a Linux user, so they have to appreciate all that.
So they really don't like Intel. They really don't like.
So, as Sven was saying, a great and unique Linux distro that we have been talking about for many years here on WDW, here on LWDW, has been sunsetted. Intel is ending support for Clear Linux OS and will no longer provide updates, security patches, and maintenance. Clear Linux OS, if you remember, is Intel's own Linux distribution built for performance and designed specifically for Intel hardware. It is optimized for speed, security, power efficiency, which makes it ideal for both cloud and desktop environments. And a number of changes were made to the defaults in the kernel, along with lots of other tweaks, which helps it perform extremely fast, even on older hardware, both Intel and AMD. Clear Linux uses the swapd package management tool as well as Flatpaks and is a rolling release Linux distro. So Arjan van der Ven, kind of a similar name, ending name to Arven here.
There you go, Jill. It's got a V in it. Practically the same name.
It's a very different name, but it has Ven at the end. So Arjan van der Ven from the Clear Linux project states, Clear Linux OS GitHub repository will be archived in read-only mode. So if you're currently using Clear Linux OS, we strongly recommend planning your migration to another actively maintained Linux distribution as soon as possible to ensure ongoing security and stability. Rest assured that Intel remains deeply invested in the Linux ecosystem, actively supporting and contributing to various open source projects and Linux distributions to enable and optimize for Intel hardware. Oh, yeah, this is just, it is so sad. I mean, it's depressing. This move is actually part of Intel's broader restructuring efforts, which plan to cut over 5,000 jobs across the United States. I enjoyed, over the years, testing the gaming performance of Clear Linux OS on older hardware with both Intel and AMD CPU and GPUs. And yeah, I'm just really sad to see this one go. I still had it installed on 2 of my laptops. So I'm just like, it's horrible. It was one of the very first cloud optimized distros out there. It really was.
And that's why Intel created it way back. Long time ago, everybody. 2015. And it's been around.
Yeah.
They put it out and they're like, hey, man, everything's going in the cloud. This is our Linux distro for this. Even Microsoft's got a Linux distribution kicking around. Despite that did not stop people like Jill using it on the desktop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, we're going to install it. We're going to use it. We're going to do stuff with it. And no matter like where you were using it, this is a problem, everybody, because there's no grace period here. Intel genuinely just showed up, like cracked the door. They didn't even bother kicking the door in. They just popped their head in and they're like, get out. And they closed the door. They just said, bye. You got to go. It's got to be gone. Very abrupt cutoff. No grace period whatsoever. Like, you need to be running something else. When? Yesterday, man. Yesterday. Clear Linux OS wasn't like a huge project inside of Intel.
No,
they didn't have a big team working on this. They didn't. And seeing it go away like this so quickly is a little bit concerning to me. And because This is what I don't see people talking about. Like, even if you're not into Linux, like this, you look for signals like this, especially with the new CEO. Like, cost cutting at Intel has got to the point where small projects like this, comparatively very small projects inside of Intel, are just getting scrapped.
Yeah.
No exit plan, nothing.
So
They're just
scary.
like gone. And I'm like, what's next with this? So yeah, that should be a little bit of concern just for Intel as a whole when the cutting is getting down to, oh yeah, our cloud-based Linux distribution. Like, nope, get rid of that team. That's gone. Then again, could this be what Intel needs to survive? Quite possibly. It could be.
Yeah.
We sit around and talk like 10 years from now, because I see people worried about Intel GPUs, Battle Mage. I've talked a lot about that and like what's going to be coming up next. We could see it's such a weird time. NVIDIA is going to be making SoCs, so maybe Intel will turn into a GPU company. It could be weird. Who knows?
Yeah.
When was the last time Intel made something that you were excited about? If you tell somebody to build a PC these days, they're not even in the conversation. And that's only been in 5 years.
Yeah.
It seems like a very natural thing to say right now. Like, hey, I'm going to be building like a gaming PC or a, workstation, something along those lines. Just like AMD followed by whatever. Like Intel, oh yeah, you get the one with like the 16 E-core thing with what? I'm like, I have no idea what's going on over there. I do know the N100 and like the N150s and like their low power stuff, but that doesn't do them any good on the high end.
No.
So yeah, there you go. That's what worries me about this. I never played around with ClearOS. If you're running it at home, get it off whatever. If it's web facing, gone. There's no more support for it. Please don't be one of those people. Do us all a favor and get that switched over. And if you're running it in the cloud, man, talk to your service provider and be like, yo, hey, maybe we need to switch this and pull whatever you got on there off very quickly. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, another project I like to run, Jill likes to run. A lot of people come visit the website for using it is Firefox. Mozilla is always looking to innovate. And Jill, it looks like they're trying to help the hoarders out a little bit this time.
They are, and this was a really good update. So the Firefox version 141 open source web browser has been released with many improvements to the user interface and for us Linux users. There is a new AI-assisted tab grouping feature that automatically organizes tabs by content to reduce clutter, with all the processing done locally on device for privacy. And Ven's going to tell you a little bit about this after I am done talking about this update, because this is interesting. And something cool for us Linux users, Firefox 141 significantly decreases memory consumption and eliminates the need for restarts after updates. Eliminating restarts after package manager updates is actually big for me, because it's always annoying when you have to do this right during a time crunch or doing heavy research online when you don't want to be interrupted, and you forget to tell your package manager not to update now, but to let you update it manually. That's happened to me before.
Well, if you need to like restart it, and I mean, it's basically just getting to the point to where like this is what Chrome does. Like, if you got Brave installed, or if you got what's the not Brave browser called? Vivaldi. When you update your packages, like with Vivaldi, it just pops right there in the UI in the right hand corner. It's like restart required. So you do what a normal person does: ignore it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I usually don't like to, but just because I just like to do it when the computer wants to update. I just usually let it do its thing, and as it's
if
updating,
I wanted to be forced into doing what my computer told me, I'd install Windows 11.
Yes, this is true, but that's why normally I have it manually update. But with Firefox, I usually just like it to give me the latest version while I'm using it, and this way I don't have to restart, which is really nice. So also now with Firefox 141, you can use Firefox's address bar as a unit converter, such as for length, temperature, force, mass, angular measurements, and time zones. And if you click on a result in the drop-down menu, it copies it to your clipboard. And that's a handy feature. Most people go to like the Google search engine or other search engines to do that, but it's nice to be able to do that right from your browser. And another new feature I like in Firefox 141 is that you can resize the vertical tab tools now with the new resize grip at the bottom of the sidebar. There's just a handy little tool for resizing it. And also there is expanded picture-in-picture support for additional streaming services like Peacock, Sky Showtime, Showmax, and Now TV, with optional caption formatting within the picture-in-picture window. And the Web GPU API is now enabled by default on Windows, with a planned rollout to Mac, Linux, and Android soon. So, go check the link in our LWDW show notes for more new features and changes in Firefox 141. Now, Ben's going to tell you about the AI feature, AI tabs.
Hey, man, you know me. I'm an AI bro. I see AI, and I'm like, we need two AIs.
Yeah.
God. Okay. Yeah. Nobody sees AI at this point. I'm sure everybody listening to the show, with the exception of like maybe one person, is like, we're just burnt out. Like, quit shoving AI and all this stuff. Like, where it makes sense, it makes sense. This, I don't know. Why? Let's have a look at this. Because, I just want to throw this question out here. We're taking a look at the screenshot from OMG on Ubuntu. Link in the show notes is from my brothers and sisters in the audience, all my tab hoarders out there, right?
Yeah.
I know you're out there. I'm not one of them. Jill will attest, like last week, I was complaining because I closed something that I needed. I subconsciously closed tabs. Why? Because I grew up at a different time. RAM was expensive. And so I just do that. And I close stuff that I need to keep open. So I'm the opposite of this. However, I want to hear from you, because this AI model is, it's going to be the one that's going to select the groups, and it's going to name everything.
Yeah.
For those groups. So it's going to, you're like, hey, AI all these tabs together and give it a name for me. I'm like, okay, it'll do that. So I got to ask you this. How do you plan on finding any of that? Like, you didn't group it, and you sure as didn't name it, but somehow you're going to remember how all that, where it ended up, maybe, question mark, which, introducing Mozilla Firefox's new product, an AI assistant to help search for your AI grouped content.
You have a really good point, Ben.
Because I remember stuff, if I name it and I group it, I'm like, there's a chance that my old brain meats is going to be like, hey, but if I just like, hey, do the magic thing, and it can do a fantastic job of doing it, like very accurate, great name, great grouping with your tabs. And, I don't remember where any of that stuff is. Why would I? You did it for me. Yeah. So how am I supposed to get back to that? So there you go.
You still have to go back and adjust it. Like, you could change the name of the groups, but still,
then
still have to reorganize it.
It's just like, well, what's the AI doing then? If I got to go back and like manually do it. I want to hear from you. Let me know down in the comments. I'm seeing some people throw in like, bookmarks. Bookmarks are still a thing. I'm guilty of not even using bookmarks to this day. I just use, what was formerly called the super bar. I know where I want to go, and then I'll type the first one or two letters of the URL, and usually it'll just give me the drop down, and I'll pick what I need to go, and I'm gone with it. So, let me know. Everything else, good news. We're always champions of Firefox. I think Firefox has got a huge fan base. Mozilla doesn't. So it's a weird place to be. But there you go. More AI in your Firefox, but less memory usage on the Linux desktop. Always a good thing. Okay. I don't have props with me. Last time we talked about RISC-V, which was like 2 weeks ago, because we were talking about Canonical saying the new versions of Ubuntu are going to require, was it RSA 23 standard? in order to work the RISC-V SoCs well, I was like, well, this is an interesting one because like those chips don't exist yet. And I'm like, you know what? Good. Line in the sand. So I was kind of surprised when we talked about the Milk 5. I'm like, well, it's almost compatible. I'm like, still not really compatible. On top of that, we're back with another one. Now, if you remember all the way back when I covered the RISC-V RV2 from Orange Pi on interfacing Linux, if you haven't seen that, go give it a look. Canonical partnered with Orange Pi to release a official version of Ubuntu to run on RISC-V. And I thought that was extraordinarily neat. That's why I covered the board. Well, they're back at it with ESWIN. They've relaunched a new single board computer, the EBC77. Man, that name sucks, Jill.
Yeah. EBC 77 series.
It's not good. It's not good. Let's see what this little critter looks like. Okay. This one's got, it's not too bad. Impressive performance, 64-bit out of order, but it's got DDR5 on it, which isn't too bad. It's got a relatively chunky NPU, it's sticking with the AI bits. How many tops? How many tippy taps does that guy do? It was something like 20 tops or something like that. It was pretty reasonable. Everything else you would normally expect. And I think this clocks in at like $150, which is probably a bit more than I was expecting. But again, I think this is aimed more towards the AI crowd, and it does come with a heatsink. But no NVMe slot on it, Jill. And you know how I feel about not having an NVMe slot.
Yeah.
On a board made. They got to work on the resolution. This is their hero image of this. It's rough looking.
Oh, wow.
It's not that great, is it?
No.
It's a little blurry. But it's got Wi-Fi, it's got Bluetooth, and it's going to have a version of it's going to have that LTS version of Ubuntu that we talked about.
Yeah.
Because this one doesn't support the new extensions either.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But it does have a 4-lane PCI Express Gen 3. It's got the FPC connector like a Raspberry Pi 5. So, yeah, 2404 is going to be supported because it doesn't meet the RVA 23 standard. I think it's going to be like RVA 22, something like that. $150. I don't know. This is all down to the NPU on this thing, which
20 tops, it said.
20 tops, which is a lot. When you think about the RVA2, which didn't have like dedicated silicon or a separate AI chip diddly-do on there, it did 2 tops, which part of the fun was like trying to make it run models, which it did. We got it to run Olama and all the other stuff, but at a glacial pace. It was like word. It was kind of funny. So, yeah. There we go. More RISC, more better.
Yeah, it's really great that Canonical has partnered with a new company, making Ubuntu compatible with more RISC-V single board computers.
It's wonderful. Just a strange one because this was only going to work with the LTS,
And it's only going to work till 2029.
Oh, just throw it out, man. I mean, other things will work on it too. It's like 4 years away, so like $150. I don't know. I need to check my email. Maybe they're gonna like send me one. I don't know. I'll play with it if they do. I'll play with it. I might do like a little review for it. But let's talk about that FPC connector because something.
Yeah, this is cool.
I've been on top of Raspberry Pi since the announcement of it. They didn't have an NVMe, and they still don't, an NVMe slot on the Raspberry Pi 5. So if you got an NVMe drive, one of those super rare, hyper uncommon pieces of technology, right? It's not like you got a stack of NVMe drives in a drawer somewhere. No. And you want to add storage to your Raspberry Pi 5, well, you got to use an SD card in 2025. That seems awfully silly to me. Jill, does that not seem awfully silly to you?
Yes, it does.
So what they decided to do is they put PCI Express, I think it's Gen 3 or Gen 2. I think you can run it in Gen 3. ribbon connector that you can plug in, and you can buy a hat. The hat that clips on the top with an NVMe connector on it, or you can put a 2280 or something like on there, which is a hat. Then it covers up the other stuff on the board that you want to get to. Mm-hmm. Then you're going to need a different case for that. Then you also have that ribbon connector hanging out. And I'm like, why? Gave him a hard time about it. However, someone way better than me, way cooler than I, also was extraordinarily bothered by that. And they're like, there's got to be a better way than buying a hat and putting it on top of my Raspberry Pi 5 just to use one of my NVMe drives, because like you're not using an SD card on a single board computer to do anything outside of like an IoT type thing. And if you got a Raspberry Pi 5 doing some really dumb IoT, you've way overbuilt the system here. I'm talking about this MicroSD Express Pi Adapt. Look at that.
Isn't that cool? I love that.
Brilliant. That's thinking with evil gas right there, man. Definitely doing it. Love to see that. Somebody finally came up with a use for that cursed ribbon connector.
Yes.
Oh, and it's fast. That's not your grandpappy's SD
and it's low
card.
profile too for a lot of the cases. It'll fit in most of the cases.
And you could build that where it just leans over on top of it. There's nothing stopping.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't know about MicroSD Express, did I mention it's fast? It is. We're talking this one right here. This is full schematics. Everything you need for that is 800 megabytes per second on a Pi 5. Now it can do, like, actually the card can do more than that. You're limited by the technology of the time, which is the Raspberry Pi 5. But 800 megabyte sustained read write. There's benchmarks and everything on there. So if you've ever wanted, just actual good speedy storage on your Pi 5, and you didn't want to like put the hat on for the NVMe and all that, like this is a brilliant idea. I love this. I saw that and I'm like, why did this take so long for like somebody way clever than I to come up with? Like, that's how you do it. That's how you get it done. The schematics, KiCad project, everything's going to be in the GitHub repo, linked down in the video description. You'll find it there. However, this got me thinking, we've all looked at motherboards and, PCBs, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ever just like look at the squiggly lines on one?
Oh, yeah.
You're like, it'll be like, oh, doing a little pattern, edge pattern. Then there's like wiggle. You're like, what's going on there? It looks cool. That's the primary purpose. However, it has a great side effect of helping controlling impedance. And there's a big point out to that. So this is designed for 50 Pi dielectric, PL dielectric Pi on the head, and not 0.5 ounce copper. So if you're going to be building one of these, it's going to be very sensitive speed-wise to that. So that's basically saying get your traces right and use the right material, or it's going to be a wonky experience. Which is another reason I'm a huge fan of like all of my single board computers just having an NVMe slot. Let the company take care of that, or just click and be done with it. However, I think this is a better solution. And again, you can just fold that over in the design. It doesn't have to stick up. This thing's the size of a full-size SD card, Jill.
Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah, it's only like, it's like just longer and a little bit wider. But,
indeed. And, being that it's MicroSD Express, like this thing's going to max out the speed of that connection.
Yeah.
You're not going to be dealing with 16, 15 megabyte, whatever your SD card reader is going to be able to poop out. This thing's going to be doing 800 megabytes a second. And it has the advantage of being an SD card form factor. You can pop that critter out and pop in another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, in some ways it's going to be easier than like unscrewing an NVMe drive. And
hoping that it comes with the screw, or that you have one small enough laying around.
Exactly. Looking at you. Wait.
Or you can find it.
I have a shout out to Banana Pi. If you ordered something from Banana Pi realizes that there's a scarcity of NVMe screws at people's houses.
Yeah.
And they just included effectively like 2 bags full of them. Like, I'm so good just thanks to them Orange Pi, on the other hand, not a screw in the entire kit. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, man. There we go. There we go. That's going to do us. Did pretty good time, about 30 minutes this week. If you want to come check us out live, we got a YouTube channel at LWDW.
Correct.
On YouTube. Like, subscribe. Come watch us live, 3 p.m. right here. Try to have a good time. Do a little pre-show, do a little post-show, depending on the weather. Or just what we're up to, what we're getting into. And yeah, have some fun. If you want to come race with the oldies and play with me, I do the TM2 crew on Tuesdays and Fridays. We have a great group of people. We play the latest and greatest Trackmania 2 maps. That sounds like a racing game. It's not. It's to get your brain working, especially at our age. It's puzzle platforming. Racing's mixed in, but it's also turned into like finding skips and hunting through stuff. Like we've just completely puzzle-fied it, especially on Fridays where we do the RPG Adventure Time. All of that information is at linuxgamecast.com. You can find Linux Gamecast, podcast for the internet, and you want to keep up and keep track of what's going on in the world of Linux, gaming, hardware. We got a podcast tab. Click on that. Look at that. All these podcasts. And if you scroll down, hey, that's this show. Look at that.
Yay.
We're on Apple and Amazon and whatever our Pandora is and the podcasts, Spotify, TuneDex thing. Yeah. It's all there, along with our show notes. And of course, we've got a big honking Patreon button over there if you want to be one of the gorgeous people who you're about to see their names and lights and pixels in the credits. We'd very much appreciate it. Bunch of different levels, bunch of different rewards, up to and including something I like to have is a podcast version of the live stream. So you don't have, like, hey, man, I can't make the show. And like, boom, just put it in, listen to it the next day at your convenience. Like to do that. Plus a version that is YouTube free for the video that you could download. Higher quality video, higher quality audio, and you don't have to worry about ad blocking or anything like that. Say for whatever reason you want to archive it or just stay away from YouTube in general. So there you go. That's going to do it. I'll be back, like I said, on Friday. And hey, don't buy any Jellyfin hardware, at least until next week. Do the thing. Now, I'm going to scroll to the top and we're going to see if we can get some bouncy music playing, Jill.
Yay! And I'm going to thank our advisor, Artherin. And thank you, Artherin, for the Clear Linux notification. He posted that really quick. And thank you to our executive producers, Atomic 12345, Drummer, our Chicago Kicks Mules level, Glorious Egg Roll, Basil, our Sea Monsters, Treggy, Mike, our Death Notes, Chad, Romero, Martin, Renee. Not doing it so well this time, Ben.
An attempt was made, and this is all you can ever ask of yourself and others. Try your best. Throw yourself at a project and hopefully have a good time, whether or not you succeed or crash, because either way, you're going to learn something. Beautiful people, rest of your week, wind it down, have a great time, get up to something, hopefully not too nefarious, and we'll see you again next go around. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone, and to all our lovely patrons that I couldn't name quick enough.
What about the unlovely ones?
Oh, they're all lovely.
I don't know. Some people might take offense, Ben. I can imagine somebody's like, oh, yeah, Ven's a sweetheart. I'd be like, what?
Oh.
Bye, buddy.
Bye, everyone.
How dare you say nice things about me?
Yeah.
I have a reputation to